Hey guys, what's up today? We are here with Mikey Miali. My name is Eliza McKnight with Heard It Here First. So first off, Mikey, how did you begin your musical journey and what got you into producing electronic music?
What's up, guys? Um, it all started back in high school in grade 9 when I met my best friend at the time. His name was Riccardo Rocca. I'm Mikey Mieli. We were both Italian, and we both fell in love with the Bloody Beetroots, who are both brothers, and they're both Italian. So we basically started DJing parties together. We had no idea what we were doing. We had like shitty little controllers and a MacBook
Love
and
that.
would go around playing parties. And that's kind of how I got into DJing, and that was in grade 9. So I was pretty young. And before that, I knew a lot of like Daft Punk, Deadmau5. Like I'm from Canada, so like Deadmau5 was big. Um, Stuff like that. My parents were super into like rock and roll, so I knew, I don't know, a lot of that stuff, and then I knew a lot of underground hip hop and old school hip hop stuff. Um, so I was always well versed in like that side of music, but it wasn't until kind of high school where I dove into more electronic music. And then my oldest brother Nick, who's like 36 now, he was going to Shambhala, Bass Coast, Burning Man, and all these big festivals, like when, I don't know, way back in like 2010s or something like that. And he was producing music as well and DJing, but he was just doing it as a hobby because he had a full-time job, was going to school. He wasn't really like trying to do the whole music thing, but he would like show me music. Like he saw like Excision in a bar of like 20 people in Kelowna,
Wow,
like way back in the day. Like this is when
that's sick.
dubstep was like still pretty new. So Nick, my brother, Ricardo, those those were definitely two big reasons why I got into electronic music. And then kind of throughout high school, I just kept having a hobby of DJing.
Mhm.
And then I didn't start production until I was probably like 20 or 21. I didn't really know, like I was going to school, university after high school. Went straight to university. I was working as a server full time, part time. So I was kind of just like figuring out life, a young
Yeah,
20-year-old.
right.
And then I started producing under a different alias called Pneumatic. And this is like super lore. Not many people know any of this, so it's always fun to talk about during interviews. But yeah, so my old alias was Pneumatic, and that was when I was just DJing and kind of getting into production. And then in 2017, I went to Bass Coast for the first time, and I met um, someone named Patrick who produced under the alias Strange Thing. And he was from Victoria, BC. We became really, really close really quick. He was a lot older than me. I was like, 21 or something at the time. Um, and basically, we collabed as Pneumatic and Strange Thing,
Mm.
and then we were just like vibing super hard, and we kind of came up with the idea of let's start a new project together. So I came up with the name Mythm, and like we rolled it out, long story short, January 1st 2019. And a lot of people don't know that Mythm actually started off as a duo.
Wow,
um,
interesting. I had no idea.
yeah, so there's been definitely a lot of different journeys through Mythm. So we dropped Mythm January 1st 2019. We had a lot of music ready to go because I kind of created a marketing plan, drop a track a month for like 5-6 months. And the first track we dropped, it got really good traction on SoundCloud, like really fast. I remember like the SoundCloud comments, people were like, who are these, like who's this new
What
alias,
was,
who's this, like is this like a side project, like
what was the chat called?
it was called Reload.
Okay.
Yeah, so the older Mythm stuff, it was like more halftime drum and bass. And because
Mm.
I was more new at production, a lot of the old Mythm sound was the heavy lifting of Pat, while I was trying to find, how to get my sound into that, and I was still new to production. So he was teaching me kind of everything he knew, and we kept doing Mythm, and that happened for about a year. I think our first big show was we played a missions festival. We won the mix competition.
Where is that?
That is in Belden, California.
Okay.
It used to be run, I don't think it happens anymore, but it was like a staple for bass music.
Oh.
It's kind of like infrasound.
Yeah.
Just like a staple for underground bass music.
Right.
A lot of artists had like legendary sets there.
Cool.
I remember like watching stuff on YouTube of like just crazy sets. It was like G. Jones, back-to-back Saruta, back-to-back Huxleyan, back-to-back Charles I, like just in this crazy festival. Anyway.
This question is, who are some of your favorite electronic artists who've inspired you and your music?
Okay, so it honestly changes a lot throughout. When I was first getting into, EDM, like Bloody Beetroots, and it was more of that, like, that style. And then I got into more like 110 BPM. I remember I was really into Gesaffelstein and like that dark stuff. And that's what I've always been into like the darker side of music. And I remember like finding Gesaffelstein and fell in love with that like dark industrial vibe. I still didn't really know, like, because I was still so new to EDM and stuff that I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to start producing and trying to be inspired by this, that, and this. I was just like listening to so much music.
Right, figuring out,
But as my production journey and my artist journey grew, I would say like my biggest inspirations, I mean, a lot of the OG guys that started the dubstep, thing back in the day, Mala, Scream, Caspa, and all those guys
OGs.
that put me on, the OGs, the UK dubstep. That's like where my heart lies. Komodo, the like real sound system dubstep stuff. But fast forwarding to, I was doing the deeper UK stuff a couple years ago. Jay Kenzo, like he was a big inspiration, and Jay was he put me on super hard. He signed my first dubstep EP to Article. It wasn't my first EP, but it was like my first 140 EP, and that's what kind of got my name some traction, and that was my first name of the tour I did, the Technique EP, and that was in 2021. And that was like during COVID, so it was like really interesting because I was I was like in Canada, and then I would play shows in the States, but then go back, and it would still be like really weird times. But it was really easy to travel because no one was flying. But yeah, like fast forward to now, Danny Sudden Death, he's definitely like my biggest inspiration. Everything he's doing for the scene and does for the scene, and how just artistically authentic he is as a person.
Love him,
it's just super inspiring. He's a big reason why I kind of started looking into the angle of the Mythm versus Mythm, like how he does Sudden Death and Void. Instead of him starting a completely new project, he was like, I'm just going to throw on a mask and do kind of a more different curation. And so that kind of was a big reason why I've always really liked rhythm. For me as an artist, I just feel like I always need to keep moving and evolving. And I just was like, I just want to start making some of that stuff. And I was kind of torn whether I wanted to start a new project completely. But I got a lot of really good feedback from my fans and artists that I really respect. And they were like, no, just keep doing your thing. If you want to brand it differently. And then I think I remember on Twitter, I posted a clip and I was like, Mythm, Rhythm, Mythm. And then that's kind of when it caught on. And my fans started calling it that. And then that's when it became kind of like the alter ego, and that's kind of what Mythm is it's like my alter ego of like the rhythm stuff, but it's my take on it. I don't just want to like
make it generic.
Like I want to always put my spin on something and make it memorable. I don't mix the same way a lot of the rhythm artists, like all these new up and coming rhythm DJs, like they mix crazy amounts of tracks at the same time and are double dropping and triple dropping. It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
And I have always mixed, like I like space, I like blends. And I kind of took my traditional 140 Mythm mixing, and then I kind of connect it with the rhythm stuff. So it's like, you know, like the set I played last night, it's like I'll play really heavy stuff, and then I'll go into like a palate cleanser of like some UK dubstep stuff, and it keeps the crowd on their toes. So that's really important for me. But yeah.
So outside of the electronic genre, are there any other artists who have inspired you?
Yeah. Honestly, I don't really listen to EDM when I'm chilling. Like when, let's say I'm like traveling or just like on the airplane. I listen to a lot of like R&B, like indie stuff, obviously rap. Like right now I'm listening obviously to a lot of Suicide Boys.
Yes, I love Suicide, Germ.
Yeah, Germ, he's from ATL.
Yeah.
Suicide Boys, I can't lie, I wasn't like a day one Suicide Boys fan. I knew of them, but I didn't get hip to them for like a while, and their old stuff is a lot different from their new stuff. But just like Scrim, like how he like produces all the beats, and there again, it always comes back to like their artistic vision. Like they never compromise. They were like, we are us. We're not gonna try to comply. And that's what that's what this stuff is for me. Is it's like the misfits that feel like they don't fit in, and like you can find a home by going to like a dubstep show and just being yourself. And that's where like I really resonate with Suicide Boys, because like their whole thing was, you know, it's kind of dark and bleak, but like and I don't know if people know this, but they started Suicide Boys because they're cousins, but they were like, if we don't make it by the time we are whatever age, we're gonna kill ourselves. That was literally like what the premise of Suicide Boys was. So it's kind of dark and bleak, but there's this positive light behind it, because it's like, look at them now. Like they basically crowned this own style, like of like taking Memphis rap and like chopped and screwed stuff and then doing their own thing with it. And then they also have their solo projects, Scrim, and then Ruby has Duck Boy. So it's just really dope. It's just like the artists that really inspire me are people that are just like not afraid to do whatever the fuck they want,
take risks.
And then I've been listening to a lot of like Lola Young. Like I really like her stuff. It's like indie. And then I've been listening to like a lot of alt metal. This band out of New Zealand called Thornhill. They have really, really dope stuff. But like, I don't really just like listen to dubstep. Like I'll either, if it's EDM, like electronic music, I'll probably listen to like liquid drum and bass. Or like if I'm in the gym, I'll listen to like heavy stuff on like a mix.
Right, when you're chilling. It's
but if I'm just chilling, like I'm not just gonna like throw on dubstep.
Some heavy dubstep.
I like, you know, R&B, like I was saying, like Bryson Tiller, Frank Ocean, SZA, Summer Walker. Like I used to really like a lot of the older Post Malone stuff, but again, I'm so happy that Post can like do his country stuff now, and his fans are like stoked for him.
Yeah, I think it's so great when you have just like a broad, you know, like array of genres you can get into. I love that.
I just think it's cool when fans are like open to experimentation, and they're like, yeah, like
for sure,
whatever. If you're happy as an artist, that's all that matters. Because there's been some backlash for artists trying to like do other stuff, and like Getter's coming back now, and I'm super happy for him. But I remember he went through a lot because he like was doing the brostep stuff, and then he like made a like future-based Flume-esque inspired album, and then got a lot of heat for it, and people
Really?
were
Oh my
like,
gosh.
that's why he kind of stopped.
Uh,
That was like pre-COVID, but he basically like left the scene for a couple years because he was just over it, because a lot of his fan base came at him and they were like, this is whack, because he tried to make like something more ethereal and like
yeah.
melodic.
Yeah.
And then he started Tara Reid, which was his rap project.
Oh, I know.
Getter's like
yeah.
the most fucking talented
That was the
artist
same
probably
person.
out there. And then, which is cool because that ties into Suicide Boys, because he's homies with them and they made an album together where he produced their beats. Memoirs of like a Gorilla or something.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
exactly.
Then they got like a fucking platinum out, like
Yeah.
plaque for it or something. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so much stuff that inspires me outside of EDM. And I always try to look for that inspiration to, you know, like I love writing rap beats and stuff. Just stuff where it's like I don't need to make bass music. I could just like write hip hop beats.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if and when do you ever hit a creative block, and what do you do when like to ground yourself when that happens?
Yeah. There was a like before the Mythm tour, I wrote so much new music for the tour, and then before I put out my showcase, my Mythm 2025 showcase, I wrote so much new music, and I got pretty burnt out after that. And during the tour, I didn't write like any new music, and I was honestly just like chilling, doing the shows, playing video games, just kind of like being like, okay, because for me, if I write new music, I want to play it out for the shows. But then if I keep writing more new music, then I'm going to be like, oh, well, I want to play this new music, but I'm not going to play the other new music I wrote for the tour. So, yeah, creative blocks are interesting. It happens to every artist, every creative. I think a lot of it is like, what's the difference between creative blocks, writer's block, and then burnout?
Right.
Because burnout is so different.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's so like important that artists take time for themselves.
Yeah. Not feel pressured to be releasing things all the time.
Well, it's just like the release landscape nowadays is it's like you're so pressured to release so much content, and it's just a lot, right? So it's like, yeah, I just went on vacation for the first time since 2016. Me and my girlfriend went to Hawaii, and it was just really nice to detach, reset, get back to center, and now I'm feeling really inspired now that I'm back. But I mean, a big thing for me has always been like staying active, just being like, before music, my whole life was sports. I played like competitive hockey and soccer back in Vancouver, and I think that's what took like a lot of my mentality and discipline in the music, just being focused and just knowing it's going to take a lot of work. And like, I don't know, like think of the analogy, like music is basically like the gym. Like you have to just get up, go to the gym, even if you don't want to fucking do it. Just go to the gym, and you're going to have like, okay, like this is like some of the best workouts I have is when I'm like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym. And then I go to the gym, and then I'm like rushed with dopamine and endorphins, and I feel great. Same with production. You're like, oh, I don't really want to make beats today. I'm just going to sit around and play video games. And then you open up Ableton and you end up writing a banger, right? So it's just like going in with that mentality is always important.
Yeah, showing up for yourself.
I'm extroverted, but I'm also very introverted. So sometimes I'm very recluse, and it takes me like a sec to be like, okay, I need to go outside because I haven't been outside for a couple of days.
Yeah.
And then I'll go outside. My girlfriend loves nature, so she'll be like, we're going on a hike. Let's go.
So next question, are there any key differences that you approach when putting together a deep dubstep set versus rhythm set?
Yeah, so I honestly freestyle all my sets. I don't plan anything. I've never been on that mentality of planning a set because I feel like it's so robotic. But that's just me. Some people love planning. It's not like it's like I like planning and having a schedule for like life stuff, but since I've been DJing for so long, I've always loved the journey of just kind of like freestyling the flow with the crowd. Okay, they like this direction, we're gonna take them over there. You can tell the energy's dying. Okay, we're gonna take them into the heavy stuff. So for the deeper stuff, for the OG Mythm stuff, um, there's always like classics that I play. There's always like the bangers I know, the doubles that I've just like burned in my mind that I know will work. So that's that stuff. And then a lot of unreleased stuff. Um, so yeah, like there's not really like set prep, but it's just like, okay, if I'm playing a DDD show, I'm gonna play more of the OG Mythm stuff.
Yeah.
But if I'm playing a Sudden Death show, like I'm gonna play heavy Mythm stuff. A lot of the Mythm stuff is, yeah, it's just like way more double drops. I also get sent like a crazy amount of unreleased music from all these new up and coming rhythm artists.
Sure, yeah.
So I always have like a really fire selection of plates. But in the grand scheme of things, there's no like different set prep because there isn't set prep. It's just like vibing with the crowd, having that conversation. Like that's what I always say. Is it's like a conversation with the crowd.
Adaptable and flexible with it.
Like a lot of people don't understand. It's not that they don't understand, but there's some people that don't fully get the whole rewind thing. And that goes back to like UK culture where it's like a conversation. It's like a special moment where it's like, if the crowd's calling, oh, it's like, wheel the tune back.
That brings
right?
the energy up, yeah.
But it's like, if you do it too much, if you do it where it doesn't need to be done, you can tell it feels forced.
Sure.
That can kind of mess with the energy. So I don't really know where I was going with that, but yeah, it's just like a conversation with the crowd.
Oh, I love that.
But you're not saying anything.
Right.
You're letting the music
Speaking
talk.
through music.
Yeah, and that's kind of what it's all about.
Nice. So, do you have any exciting upcoming releases or collaborations that you could tell us about?
Yeah. For the OG Mythm stuff, I have a forthcoming EP on one of the greatest UK dubstep labels that basically started it all that I haven't released with. I'm not sure I could talk about it, but
Okay,
I'm sure people who watch this
assume.
maybe will assume. Yeah, that's all I can say. So on the Mythm side of things, forthcoming EP that I'm really, really hyped about. For the Mythm stuff, it's a bit different because I do a lot of free downloads and a lot of just like SoundCloud stuff like that. I have my collab with Ominous. That's going to be dropping in the near future. Shout out Brandon Ominous. That's my boy.
Love him, yes.
Yeah, I'm always just making new music. For me, it's now just like getting content out, getting music out. If you wait with the thing about a label route is sometimes it can take like a year, 2 years, 3 years. And it's like, I don't even like the track anymore. So it's interesting because nowadays it's like, you really just gotta not pump, but just like keep things moving with content, music, keeping everyone okay. New Mythm. And it's different worlds, right? I want to keep both my fan bases happy, but at the end of the day, I also want to have that bridge of like, oh, I could play, like this is more of a 140 crowd, but they went crazy last night to the Mythm stuff, to the rhythm stuff, because for me, I know no one's gonna hear any of that music all festival long. No one's gonna hear rhythm at all, right? So it's like a memorable experience for them, and everyone was vibing with it. The energy was crazy, and then I would go back into some deep stuff, have a palate cleanser. So it's just like the ebb and flow of like my mixing style and just the energy that I'm bringing with the crowd. I also feel like when I do OG Mythm, way more like surgical on the decks. But when I'm on like the Mythm stuff, I'm like crazy, just like I'm very energetic.
Yeah.
With the crowd when it's the Mythm stuff, because it's just like
Deep
it's just like a different vibe.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love both, but yeah,
Well,
I don't remember the
we
question.
love both as well. Both sides of this project. You're still bumping your Mind of Madness album. Can you tell us about how you go into selecting the artists and which tracks they remix?
Yeah, so with the Mind of Madness remix album, basically I hit Deadbeats up. I was like, yo, it's been about a year since the album dropped. What do we think about a remix album? And they were super down. Side note, I think it's really cool because I think that's the only remix album on Deadbeats,
Mm-hmm.
so that's pretty dope. Yeah, basically, I thought of the artists. I had an idea of what I wanted to do with the set list, but a lot of it came from the artists who were supporting the tracks and just showing love. Like for example, Glitch Mob played Damage out live a lot, and then they also put it on Noisier Radio. So it's pretty simple. I just hit them up. Yo, I'm doing a remix album. Would love to have you guys a part.
Yeah.
Do you want to remix Damage? And we're down. Glitch Mob on the remix album. Fucking crazy. Those guys are
so
legends.
Cool, yes.
Same like with Schlump. He played Grim out a bunch, and Mike's a good homie. Hit him up. It was really just like I knew them all personally. I also wanted to put some spotlight on artists that really deserved it.
Yeah.
And that were unbelievably talented.
That's great.
Chase Inactive. He remixed Forbidden. He's like insanely sick artist. Yeah, just stuff where I wanted to just put on people that deserve it, and then people that were supporting the album. That's, Joey, Chef, or Beats, he was playing Cuts. He did a crazy sick breaks remix of Cuts. Yeah, it was pretty simple. We just sent out a big email thread to some of the artists that I wasn't like talking to personally, and some got back to us and were like, hey, we'd love to be involved, but we have prior commitments to other stuff, and it will clash with releases.
Yeah.
I really wanted to get Caspa on it, but he had the Mellow Man remix on Deadbeats for Distinct Motive. But just stuff like that. It was just like personal relationships, and then more of a business approach of emailing them.
Right.
And yeah, so that was kind of how it came about, and it worked really well, and I'm super stoked, and I feel like I put on a lot of really cool artists that
that's great.
deserved it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So, as you've been at Sound Haven, what sets have you enjoyed the most so far?
Yeah, I've really Nick Super Future. He always just smashes it. He just plays like it's just like party bass music, fun, gets people dancing, just like perfect vibes for a Friday night main stage. So I really like that. I always love Ivy Lab. Gove's a good homie. I caught up with him in the green room. I hadn't seen him for a while, so it was nice catching up with him. That was my first time seeing Skeller. The wave stuff is really cool. I love how he's cultivated, a community and fan base for that. Even though I'm not well versed with the wave stuff, I have a lot of appreciation for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got in at like 5 p.m. last night, and we didn't get out till like after dinner, so I didn't see that many sets. I'm really stoked for tonight. Yeah, I'm actually staying till tomorrow. Usually I'm like pretty in and out of festivals, but because we drove up from Atlanta, we're staying till tomorrow morning. So obviously tonight is gonna be like, we got the homies Truth.
Yes.
Obviously Shades, they're one of my faves. I haven't seen Shades set for a while, so I'm excited to hear all the new music. And we got the 1985 showcase. Really stoked for 11th Hour. I know it's his North America debut tour. really stoked for Hijinks. Me and him have been chatting online for a while now, trading tunes, and I've never seen him play. So obviously the curated 1985 showcase that Alex always does is sick. So yeah, I think it's gonna be really dope tonight.
Yes, I'm feeling that energy already.
Yeah, I'm really stoked to just vibe out. And, yeah.
So we're gonna close things off by asking, what do you want your fans to know about the Mythm project moving forward?
What do I want to know, man? Okay.
Just anything in particular?
Just that for me as an artist, like I said before, it's so important to just feel like I'm artistically free to do kind of what I want, and that I'm so thankful that my fans are open with the mindset that I can do rhythm, that I can do deep stuff, and it's just like
not stuck in a box.
Not stuck in a box. And it's just really nice to know that they're like, you know, I was like, should I start a new project? Should I start something completely new for rhythm stuff? And they're like, no, like you're Mythm, you know, Mythm, it's like you can't be one without the other. So yeah, I love my fans. Like I call them like my family, my friends. So just wanted to say thank you for the support. If you've been there since day one with Mythm, the 140 stuff, or if you're new and supporting and just finding me with the Mythm stuff, I just want to say thanks. And I'm just grateful to be doing this. You know, I've been doing this full time since 2021 now, and I feel like the project has been on a lot of different paths, and I think that's what being an artist is all about. You know, the saying like people change their career paths like 5 times or something. I'm not changing a career path in any means, but I'm changing my artistic viewpoint of which ways I want to go. And I think that's just what being an artist is, you know. And everything's moving so fast nowadays. Some things pop in, and then the next thing, there's a new artist, there's a new sound. What's going to be next? You know, in 2016, everyone was trying to make future bass. In 2012, everyone's making trap. You know, dubstep's cool, and then it's not cool. It just comes in phases and trends.
Waves,
And for me, longevity is so important. And, you know, what I feel like me and my fans have is just like day one connection, where it's like they've been with me through the ups and downs, because, you know, this shit it's not easy. Nowadays it's like 60-40 content it's like there's a lot of pressure that artists don't talk about, and what I've been trying to talk about online is not always easy to talk about. And the people who have seen my posts and resonate with them and message me and are like, dude, you're saying the shit that people are thinking, they're just scared to say. My whole take on the whole content creation of social media, like, we are musicians, we are not content creators. However, you have to do it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You just have to do it.
This day and age,
you just have. It's like you're a marketing project. Like, you have to market yourself to the demographic, because you could be the next Skrillex, but if you're not on social media, no one's ever gonna find about your shit.
Gotta put yourself out there.
So, you know, to anyone out there watching who's like, I feel so lost because I love music and love making music, but I don't like creating content. In the grand scheme of things, you just have to do it. And you have to just find a way that makes it work for you. There's ways to make it work that work for you. You know, if you don't feel comfortable getting in front of a camera, show off your screen and show off production tutorials and show off that stuff. It's not going to be like a straight one-word answer of like, oh, this is how I'm going to promote my content. You know,
so many other ways to
do it.
Like,
I'm very serious as a person of like how I preach stuff, what I care about, but I'm also very goofy and lighthearted and will like do funny troll shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, artists like Joey Chef, like I have so much respect for him because like his brand is just who he is his personality. He's just a funny, chill, it's like meme. It's just like that's like, you know, he'll like post a preview, swipe, funny meme stuff, and people resonate with that, right?
Yeah.
And then for me, it's like sometimes I feel like I'm too serious or like mysterious. It's like I want to show people who I am as a person, and like I'm serious and I preach real shit that I care about, but then also I can like be goofy and have fun. So to wrap the whole thing up, I was kind of going off there, but I'm thankful for my fans, and then I'm thankful for the people that resonate with what I have to say about the landscape of the music industry and just like society as a whole nowadays. It's not just music. It's like movies. It's like, think of like the last good time you saw like a good movie in theaters, you know?
It's been a while.
Like, it's just like consumerism is at an all-time high, and it's like we're always wanting more, but we can never settle for what we have. And it's a scary thought to think about that, because it's like you're never in the moment. You're always like, well, what's next? And I always go back to this one example of in 2016 when Flume put out Skin and Kendrick Lamar put out Damn. Those albums were talked about for years, and now it's like someone puts out an album, it's talked about for a couple days. There's no shelf life anymore.
Alright, moving on.
There's no shelf life anymore, and that's what's hard for artists to grasp, is because you put so much time and effort into something,
and you want to be respected for that.
And it's like your art isn't received the way you want it to be, but not because it's like it just is like it could do amazing, but it's like you want it to last, you want it to be like solidified, but it's just that's how consumerism is. I think that might have done something. That's how consumerism is nowadays. Is it's just like what's next? Oh, new iPhone coming out. Oh, new video game. Oh, this, this. So we just have to make sure, as like artists and a society as a whole, to just like appreciate what you have in the moment.
Hold gratitude for it, for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for chatting with us today. We had Heard It Here First, and all of your fans absolutely love Mythm and Mythm. And yeah, we'll chat soon. Thank you so much, Mikey.
Thanks, guys. Bye.